Approval of minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes approved. Okay, we have, I think, one item of old business.
Yes, if you all remember, in the last audit committee workbook, we included the Office of Internal Audit as well as the audit committee bylaws. These are approved annually. This was moved from the last agenda to this one in order to give committee members time to review them and decide if there are any changes or suggestions for changes. I did inquire about any members that could not attend tonight to see if any of them had suggested changes. I did not receive any. So if there are any, that's open to you all.
Any discussion? And I guess these bylaws can be questioned at any time.
Yes.
It's not a time-sensitive thing. It's just part of our to-do list is to review and reapprove or change. Is that correct? Okay. So any comments, any observations? Okay, do I have a motion to, I guess, approve or reconfirm our bylaws?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Approved. The new business.
Okay, this one's going to be really short and sweet. Our office did a follow-up audit on the codes department. The initial report was issued back in January of 2020. There were 2 recommendations with that audit. Both of them were medium. One had to do with segregation of duties. One had to do with documentation. Jim Carson, one of our auditors, went out there, did a follow-up audit. Both have been implemented, so they are closed.
That was a pretty easy one.
So this was, you say, a follow-up?
It was a follow-up audit.
That's good. Okay, any questions or comments? Okay.
We'll move to the next one, which is also short and sweet. This was a audit that we did of the State Trial Court's drug court back in February of 2020. The audit resulted in 16 recommendations, 8 high risk and 8 medium risk. All were accepted by the drug court and reported as being implemented. Nan Nguyen went back out and performed a follow-up audit of those recommendations, and she found that 15 of them had been implemented fully and that 1 was partially implemented. The reason that the 1 that was partially implemented, which related to depositing funds within 1 business day as Metro policy states, unfortunately the drug court has gone through a variety of issues related to staffing shortages as well as results from the pandemic and even the tornado. They have not been able to consistently deposit funds within 1 business day. They work very hard to get most of the time they're deposited. We saved your receipt.
Thank you.
Most of the time it is occurring, but we are waiting for them to get up to staffing levels. And once they do, we'll go back out to make sure that it's consistently implemented.
We just started.
You mean you didn't wait for me?
Nope.
I tried to get them to.
I like you. Are you talking about something important?
Just the drug court follow-up.
I'm letting you know where we are. We just started.
Oh.
He brought power.
I was told I couldn't come unless I brought this. Oh, don't mind me.
Thank you so much.
There, are you happy now?
I'm glad you signed up for the potluck.
Yeah, okay. All right, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
If there are any questions about the follow-up.
Do you have any questions?
You will go back again to follow up on the one that.
On the one that's partially implemented, yes. It won't be a full-blown follow-up like this. We will probably do it just as a one-off. But they didn't put in a revised date necessarily because staffing levels, it's just hard to gauge when they'll get back up to staffing levels. So we'll check in with them regularly to see when that is.
Is there state or federal law that mandates a deposit within a certain number of days?
There's not. The state comptroller's recommendation is within 2, I believe, but Metro's rule is 1.
Okay.
And they do follow Metro's policies.
Are they secure I mean, do we lock them
Yes,
up?
yes, they do have a safe and there's other secure.
Any other comments or questions?
Next, we did not issue the investigation into General Hospital, so that will be discussed at the December meeting. So moving on to the next item, which is a request to revise the annual work plan. Part of the duties of the audit committee is to set our work plan each year. This is done in February. So in February of 2021, the audit work plan that's in the workbook on the first page was approved. And as you can see, we have completed pretty much all of the items that are on the carry forward. The only open one currently is our peer review, which will happen in February of 2022. Moving into the new audit areas, we have 4 that we have started or issued. 2 of them, 2 additional ones have to be delayed. This is because of staffing issues related to the CARES funding and also changes that are happening within the Department of Transportation for the parking one. That would make it an audit currently ineffective since changes are about to happen and many of those recommendations, if we had any, would be inapplicable. Then we have the remaining 3 open. Number 16, the Agricultural Extension Service, and number 18, General Hospital Human Resources will both be started next week. Only leaving the hotel occupancy tax audits. Those are more filler, they're not a full-blown audit. So because of that, we have an audit staff that is finishing up projects and needs another project to do. When we submit our annual work plan each year, we include what's on the second page, which is other potential audit engagements. These are items that we thought were important, but we have to weigh our current staffing levels, and so we can't put everything on the audit plan. We come up with them in the exact same way as we come up with the audit plan. We just have to pick and choose which is most important. But we include them in here to say that they are done the same way as the other audit plan. We've gone through this list and looking at our current staff as well as the capacity of the departments. And we believe that the best audit to move would be the open records request fulfillment process, item D, which is more of a transparency of Metro type audit. And we would like to request to move that one from the other potential audit engagements over to the actual annual work plan. Are there any questions about that or any of the other audits?
Is there a motion?
So
Okay.
moved.
And second?
Second.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, discussion.
Yes, thank you. Before you vote,
I watch you a lot.
I know you do, thank you. You can have a piece of pie later. The open records request, why, I understand the part of the need, but why pick that one particularly?
So looking at some of the audits, we already have audits going on in certain departments. And so we don't want to overload a department, as well as we may have already touched on other departments that we don't want to go into a second time within the same year. As well as we have to view the competencies of our own audit staff, and we don't want to start a big engagement right now at the end of our audit plan year. So going into the smaller, like 600-hour audits, we have C, D, social services, F, and just thinking through what would be best right now is just, that's kind of how we got to D. We're open to suggestions on other ones.
I'm trying to figure out, so like a disaster recovery planning process, obviously the city has gone through quite a number of disasters, and one of the things that you want to learn from what's happened is how well do we go through those processes? Are the processes we have in place good? But it's also 800 hours. Is that one that could possibly move maybe next year
Yes.
over to the?
This list is usually used to help plan for the next year. Obviously, these items were important for a reason and are on the secondary list. That is one that I can tell you that is also probably going to involve some of these same individuals that do the CARES spending, and I can tell you right now, they don't have the staffing for that.
So this potential list
Yes.
will become part of the new
It won't
plan?
necessarily become it, it's things that we will weigh in on it.
They're high priority?
Yes.
Okay.
And, for any newer members, like Lauren says, this is something that we are charged to do, is to approve the work plan, and it can change. And it does, it changes every year because we have different requests come in of something that's come up, so. So we have a motion second.
I have a quick question, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
and I hope you appreciate that this is just the math in me. This isn't like a question about workload, but if we're looking at 800 hours for the CARES Act and 600 for the Public Works, so that's like 1,400 hours that are opening up, and we're only going to fill it with 600?
They're not necessarily opening up. So those we may not have gotten to those as it was. So we're
Gotcha.
right now
Okay.
trying to fill one of those spots. We will, in all honesty, we have another staff member who's coming available, and probably at the December meeting, we may be going through this again.
I got you. Thank you.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Any other changes you had? Is that it?
That's it. Next, we start kind of the administrative items. Not much has changed since we just had a meeting about 3 weeks ago. First is our progress, our current audit workload progress. We try to issue 17 audit reports each year. So far, we have issued 13. We have 5 additional ones in the draft phase, and then 5 other projects that are currently in process. So we assume that, believe that we will make that goal of 17. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we will have probably one investigation that's been completed as well at the next meeting. Next, we have implementation status follow-up. Once again, since there has not been that much time since our last meeting, this hasn't changed much. We did add a few recommendations, and then we did have the Department of Finance proactively reach out to revise one date related to the fund commitments, restrictions, and assignments audit. The reason for that one is noted on the page in the workbook, just related to establishing the fund balance and getting it to where it needs to be. So there's been a 6-month request for that to be for June of 2022.
You all get extra points for doing more than what you said.
No.
How many are you supposed to do? You're supposed to do 17? So if you get 18,
It's up to y'all.
well, I brought 5.
I appreciate it. If there aren't any questions on that, we can move on to the budget. We're at about 30% of our budget for the year. We don't foresee anything that's going to cause us to go over budget. And so we think we're on track to make our budget easily this year. And lastly, we don't have any staffing updates. Nothing has changed. We're still at full staff with 10 FTEs.
That's really special. That's not the experience a lot of departments are having, so congratulations.
We're excited to finally be full staff.
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing over there, but
It took a while. And that's all for me.
Okay. And our next scheduled meeting is still scheduled for, I know we may talk about this further, but right now it's still scheduled for the 14th, or is that subject? It's okay. Is there any other meeting, any other items that need to be discussed in the public meeting?
Did you all got the minutes approved? You didn't need me for that. You're good?
We can, you okay with them?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Yeah.
No, I was told that I needed to be here for a quorum.
I could leave.
We could. You're,
Yeah, okay. I get it.
okay, we adjourn the public, or do we talk about, or we say we're going to
Yes,
executive
you need
session?
a specific motion to go into executive session.
I need a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Kind of
Okay.
Turn off the,
Well, we need to adjourn the public meeting.
Yes.
Motion to adjourn? Adjourn the
move to
public meeting.
adjourn. Second.
Second. Aye.
Aye.
According to ITS.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information on this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.